Welcome to the LA Business Podcast, your destination to hear stories of how businesses grow and scale. I'm Robert Brill, CEO of BrillMedia.co and the host of this podcast. Now, let's jump right into this week's interview. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the LA Business Podcast. Today our guest is James Amburgey, Chief Marketing Officer of Bio Bidet. Bio Bidet is a pioneer in bidet technology and design, and Bio Bidet has spent more than a decade exploring and harnessing the significant environmental, hygienic, and practical benefits of bidet toilet seats provided to U.S. households. Tell us, you've been with the company since 2016, James. Thank you for being with us here. Tell us a little bit about how you market. I mean, how do you even talk about bidets without using colorful language?
Yeah, well, and first off, thank you so much for having me here today. I'm very excited to be here. And you're right. The bidet industry is very unique. It's been very niche for a very long time here in the States. Bio Bidet has been around since 2008, and some of our first customers that we ever serviced here, in the U.S. were traveling to different parts of the world, Asia, Europe, experiencing a product like this, coming back home, and then wanting one for themselves. And that's slowly evolved over time. When I joined the organization back in 2016, there's still very much a lot of consumer education, a lot of hard work, and just putting information out there for people interested. And so, how we quantify that, fast forward to now, we can do that in a lot of different ways. I think one of my favorite ways to do that is when I joined in 2016, I was the company's 7th employee. Now we have over 35. And so, we've seen some exponential growth, not only in terms of sales, product awareness, but with our people too. And it's been really exciting.
So I imagine that the targeting and advertising and overall marketing efforts for the product, for your line of products, really focuses on. I'm going to make a guess, right? Because I'm a marketing guy, and this is the type of stuff that's very interesting to me. I'm going to guess you're targeting folks who have traveled to Europe recently, and you can tell me if I'm totally wrong. I already realize I pronounced bidet wrong completely. It's bidet, not bidet. So there we go. Targeting folks who have been to Europe recently or have European ancestry, or even Japanese, have been to Japan recently. Tell us a little bit about who you target for the marketing for Bio Bidet.
Yeah, so there are some geo targetings that we do in terms of residents, where you're living in the United States. It lends itself to travel, but coastal areas of the states, this product is extremely it's a lot more popular. And so, it is a little bit more traveled area. So there is some truth to that. We also do audience segmentation depending on the channel we're visiting. We know that health and wellness is very complementary to our product. We know that, certain ages and other demographics are price sensitive. And the great thing about Bio Bidet is that we have products, we have solutions that you can purchase for $25 or for $2,500. And so it really also depends too on what product we're attempting to put in front of people.
So let's talk about what a bidet is. I'm actually just really curious to see how you're going to talk about it. I'm really interested in the words you're going to use.
I mean, you can't be shy in this business, so I'm happy to talk about it. What's really unique about a Bio Bidet is I'm not talking about this separate porcelain fixture that, sits in your bathroom and nobody knows how to approach it or how it works. Really what I'm talking about is technology built into your toilet or your toilet seat. So a Bio Bidet is designed to replace your existing toilet seat with a smart toilet seat. And it has a host of features. Not only does a stainless steel nozzle come out on demand, wash you with temperature controlled water, and then retract, but it will also, they have air dryers. They're operated from remote controls. There's in-bowl night lights, heated seats, there's soft closing. So it takes what, a traditional bidet does, which is, cleans you with water, and it brings it to this kind of modern era of hygiene and what people are expecting when you're renovating your bathroom or just, making your home smarter these days.
So I'm sharing my screen because I want folks to take a look. We have, so I mean, this is fascinating. Like you could literally sell this to every human being on the planet.
Yeah.
And so tell us a little bit about the nuances here, because this is fascinating. Like I've never in my life was like, okay, what are the nuances of how you buy a bidet? So tell us a little bit about this. Yeah. This is great.
The Discovery DLS, that's right at the top of our site there. It's come to market here just in the new year. It's really great because it has the newest technology that we use to heat water. So it provides you an unlimited, warm water stream. It's touchless. So when you approach your toilet, the lid automatically opens for you. A lot of the nuances come in the technology that drive these products and the features that are important to users as they kind of go down their research. And so I would say water heating technology is huge. You want to find something that heats water on demand, so you're not stuck in this kind of traditional tank reservoir that it's constantly keeping water warm, but it's not as energy efficient as heating water on demand.
So what's the difference? Like, what am I paying for $23.99 versus something that's, you said, I mean, the lowest cost, the Supreme is $4.99. What are the fundamental differences between the highest and the lowest cost product?
Yeah, great question. The Prodigy that you're looking at there, that's $23.99. That comes with a porcelain bowl, so it's a complete toilet replacement. Yeah, and it's actually really sophisticated, even down to how it flushes water. It's powered by the direct connection of your water source, so that's where its power comes from. And flushing this product, flushing your toilet, you've never thought, how is it flushing? A lot of times it's gravity fed with a tank that's, allowing water to pass through. But this is really sophisticated, even in how it flushes. And so it's an all-in-one solution. There's really nothing that it doesn't do. So if you're looking for the best of the best, Prodigy, you really can't go wrong.
So and the Supreme, is that does that go over your toilet basically?
Exactly.
Interesting.
Where the Prodigy completely replaces your toilet, something like the Supreme or the Discovery DLX, that's simply just going to replace a regular toilet seat with a bidet seat, a bidet toilet seat.
Very cool. Okay, so there's so many places you can go. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here for a moment here. Let me remove that. That's just you and me. I imagine, tell us a little bit about the challenges that you kind of looked at when you came into the business in 2016, right? Like, are you looking at SWOT analysis? Are you looking for, like, how do you approach the marketing for this?
Yeah, I think you have to approach this kind of topic, I think, with a certain level of, not only humor, but it's something that people are really kind of uncomfortable talking about in some way. And so just being approachable and being willing to listen to consumer feedback has been, I think, a huge key to our success. So, for example, some of the more recent surveys we've done, we've still found, even in this day and age of COVID and people very focused on hygiene and what's effective, still the biggest barrier is not even knowing that a bidet exists.
Right.
And it wasn't until March, when people maybe had difficulty accessing toilet paper, that they even considered an alternative to that process. And I think that was critical this year for bidets, which were people kind of asking themselves, well, I can't find toilet paper, but what else can I use? Or then they step back, why am I using toilet paper?
I think culturally, right, you have a fundamental cultural challenge in the United States. Is your marketing overview? Is your marketing are you responsible for marketing the U.S. or across the globe, or how does that break out?
Yeah, so it's North America.
North America.
Yeah.
And so I imagine the first challenge is this is challenging for folks to even consider. Like, how, as you start your position there in 2016, what are some of the first, like, take us through like your thinking or the sort of the decisions that you make to gain a foothold in the market, or to create the market. Frankly, you might be creating the market.
Yeah, and that's what Bio Bidet, I feel like has been responsible in doing in a lot of ways, is helping develop the market here, especially in the United States. Looking back to some of my first early years here, I think one of the greatest challenges we had at times were helping even merchants understand, channel partners, that bidets were a viable solution, right? Kind of the future of bath. I can remember very, very early on going to a line review where, a product's being considered for in-store placement. And I was asked a question that stuck with me even all these years. I only have the opportunity to put 25 items in my section of the store. Why should one be a bidet? And it's a question that I periodically ask myself, actually, before I'm going to visit any of our channel partners, to reflect back on that question. It's something that stuck with me all these years. And I give the same answer anytime I'm asked that. Because once people experience them, they love them, they want them. Actually, the retention rate for bidet use from our recent survey shows that 84% of bidet users actually stick with it. And so the overwhelming reason why they do is because they just feel cleaner. So that, I think, is really powerful.
Wow.
And then, it's a new market too. And I think that that's really important in how we approach that with some of our channel partners. We're not competing with, screwdrivers or light bulbs, some of these things you kind of already have in your home. This is a new space. This is a new product that once people get access to it, they really enjoy it. And so that's been a lot of fun too, is marketing that way.
So as you go about your marketing 2016, 2017, 2018, what are the key channels? Because I feel like even 2019, right? When you look at 2016 to 2019, you have the world that used to exist. So I'm sure there's some trends in there that I want to get into. I also then separately want to discuss 2020 as a standalone. It was a year. It felt like a decade. Like talk about the time between 2016 and 2020, and at the end of 2019. What were some of the trends that you found that were fundamentally driving your business? Was it creativity? Was it social media? What were the things that were really moving the needle for your business?
Yeah, in the early years, with my time here at Bio Bidet, and it still is in a lot of ways, hasn't changed, but I think Costco has been the most influential partner for us in terms of how members at that club get access to products or even exposure to it. We've had really great success there over the years, and it's through a lot of channel marketing and just overall product exposure, educating consumers there. And Costco has been really great about helping support our programs over the years and making sure members get access to products at really great prices. We never really have wanted price to be a barrier as to why somebody couldn't try a bidet. That's why I know on site we looked at a couple of very expensive items, but you'll be able to find things on there under $100 that are still going to give you a similar outcome. Being able to clean yourself with water. So that's definitely been a trend, making sure things stay affordable.
So when you talk about channel partners, sorry, James, when you talk about channel partner marketing, tell us a little bit about from a tactical perspective. Like if Costco is a channel for retail is a channel for you, if that's very important to support them, what are the types of things that you do that make Costco happy and that make your business happy? to keep people buying at Costco?
Yeah, so specifically at Costco, you have to be best priced, right? There has to be member value there, and we understand that. We respect that. And so if you're paying to be part of a membership at a place like Costco, you want to make sure that when something's there, there's everyday value, so that you don't necessarily have to shop a sale. So I think that's critical. That's one of the things that I think is key to success there. But then channel marketing, we've been primarily focused on like affiliate marketing, bringing people offsite to Costco, bringing people offsite to our website so that they can get proper education on the product if they're considering. I think it's important to have a pixel on site too, so that after that education and consideration period, you can kind of evaluate how effective some of that material is, and start to measure your success rate and conversions and ROAS. So while we've evolved from this family-owned small company, we've been able to put some things in place that I think are sophisticated and help us be able to measure our results.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I just was going to end with too, like one of the things that I love about working here at Bio Bidet is that we're not afraid to try things. And if something doesn't work out or we don't get the result that we want from it, we always try and step back and figure out, well, how can we do this differently, or still how do we get the result we want? So I've never thought backwards more in my whole life than I have as a marketer at Bio Bidet. I know where I'm at, and I know where I want to be. What does the middle look like? And that's something we're figuring out every day.
Well, every step of the way, right? You've got to make decisions, and those decisions are often messy. And I tell our team, like, look, the process of creation is messy, and that's okay. And let's do what we do best with our established clients. And as we're trying new things, let's be honest about when we're trying new things and set expectations appropriately.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, especially with that. I think people sometimes get stuck in fear of failing, but it's part of the success when you get there.
So channel partnerships were very important for you.
Yes.
I imagine continue to be very important for you. Okay. Was there a second or third sort of tactic or strategic overview that was really helpful for you between 2016 and at the end of 2019?
I think that was also a period where we were starting to get some of our first presence in retail, kind of traditional brick and mortar. That was very meaningful for us as an organization. It allowed our brand to kind of reach a new level, if you will, in terms of, this industry and what that means. So I would consider that to be a critical item.
Can you talk about, I'm sure at some point you considered, okay, we can go direct to consumer, we can buy. I saw the website, you can buy. At what point do you, I imagine, as I think through it, I imagine you got to see it, you got to touch it, you got to see what it looks like. Was that the decision making I guess really the question is, how aggressively do you focus on direct to consumer media and sales?
Yeah, I love that question. So our site has traditionally been that for education, more B2B. We are traditionally a B2B business. We still are today. It's at the core of what we do. In the recent years, probably 2018 is when we finally first went to like a Shopify kind of e-commerce style platform. So it's built, it's there. I think you'll see us wait still a little bit before we go direct to consumer. And that's strategic for us. The market is still very young, even though we've had a lot of success this year in terms of new customer acquisitions. We still want to, like you said earlier, do what we do for like our core partners. And then you'll see some experiments from us along the way. But, I'd attribute Shopify and just a whole new e-com presence to 2018, 2019.
So tell us about March 2020. The world starts to change as you're looking at the globe. You're seeing things in January and February in Asia, and and whatnot, and it comes to Europe, and then it comes to the US in March. What like, are you freaking out, or you're like, oh, this is great? No toilet paper, it's our time to shine. Tell us a little bit about what was going on with your business at that time.
I mean, so as a leader here at Bio Bidet, not only just like for marketing, but in terms of our people, and it was a very uncertain time, a little bit of a freak out, not in the traditional like, oh my goodness, what do we do? Because we're gonna have to shut things down. It was more like, oh my God, we're selling these faster than we know that we have. What are we gonna do? How are we gonna service all these new customers that enter, the bidet family, so to speak? So it was challenging in a lot of ways. I would say we navigated it the best that we could. We stayed flexible with our people, with our customers, with our messaging. We were very transparent during all that period. What I love about Bio Bidet is that during that period, we were actually able to reduce our lead time from 6 weeks to 3, utilizing coastal 3PL services. So what we did was, some of the downtime we had for manufacturing, we were able to make up for on the front end and distribution. And that's just the beauty of what I love about what we do here. We are a responsive group. I'm so proud to lead a team here that's full of dedicated people that are not afraid of hard work, because that's what it's taken, to build this company to what it is today.
So tell me again, when COVID happened, the time it took to get a product out to the consumer, it shortened, but what were the key elements there that contracted?
Yeah. So we sold through everything that we had here
quickly.
Yeah.
Really?
It sold through. And so we had to turn off markets before we oversold. It took a few days to actually kind of be able to reconcile our overall sales that we had captured. And to me, that was a red flag, because I knew our future system had to be different.
Right.
And so, we have a more robust ERP and those types of things now that are just coming to completion. So it's taken, how many months from March to January here to get that established the right way, or the way that we needed to. And so having sold through everything here domestically, we had to go back and schedule and get production. And that generally takes us 6 weeks before something can go, from production to fulfillment here in Crystal Lake. We're just northwest of Chicago in Illinois. And so there's a lot of travel and getting things to the heart of the country. And what we did to offset some of that lead time, which was traditionally a 6-week period from production to Chicago, we took it from production to actually Los Angeles. And so we were able to start fulfillment coastal and save ourselves 3 weeks in terms of product availability. And we've been doing that ever since.
So are there any trends that you can talk about? Are there certain types of people or certain parts of the country or certain age groups? What are the sort of like audience trends of the people who are buying bidets? Yeah.
So I would say for the bidet seat user, the electronic bidet user, those are extremely popular with individuals who are part of kind of a young family, so 25 to 34. Our demographic goes like very slightly male. So I think it's like a 45-55 ratio there. And the kind of key retail in the industry is the mid 200s is where, we found that a lot of people are willing to experiment and try something new in terms of that class.
What do you mean mid 200s? I'm so sorry. What?
Yeah, so like around like $250 is kind of the average bidet price.
Got it. Okay.
And people usually, like I said, after they try it, they love it. And so we do see a lot of repeat purchases.
What are you buying? Like when you buy a bidet, what else are you buying? Are you leveling up or what?
Yeah, so you're generally leveling up. I tell people, a lot of people ask me like, hey, how long is it going to take to install one of these? Because it is a DIY product. And I tell them it's going to take you 30 minutes to install an e-bidet for yourself. Mm-hmm. And it'll take you half that amount of time when you install one for a friend, because they're going to try yours, they're going to love it, and then they're going to buy one and ask you to help them out with installation. And that's kind of like, how I've seen things over the years go. We have customers of ours who are extremely loyal, happy to be part of our Bio Bidet family. And they call in, they know our service agents by name. They're really excited to talk about the product that they've purchased or shared with a friend, shared with a family member. And so, it is very small world in that sense. People who use bidets, they're not afraid to say so.
Did your marketing, so like three kind of like closely connected questions. Did you continue marketing during what I've kind of generally classified as the Great Recession, or the recession? The Great Recession was 2008. I've called it the Great Reset generally. Like, I think there's so much stuff that's changing in the world. Yes. And I think there's an opportunity to like recreate the world in a way that's like better for everyone. So if I look at this period, the pandemic period, the Great Reset or the recession or whatever it is, did you continue marketing? And if yes, did you change how your channels or how you market during that period?
Yeah. So we did continue marketing. We didn't stop. And we were very transparent. Our lead times and product availability was a lot different. But we never slowed down in terms of just consumer education, which is so critical to this category. So making sure people had access to good information as to what a bidet is, how to use it. We took back orders with channel partners that would allow us to do so. And for those that did not, we were able to work with them to get inventory commitments on what they needed with very tight ETA dates associated with it, so that we could plan to go live with them at the appropriate time. So really, it was just being transparent, letting people know when product was going to be available. But I'll tell you, it's been a challenge this year. We've had days where we've acquired, tens of thousands of new bidet users in a 24-hour period of day. I mean, that's not every day, but at its height, it's been really significant for us as a company. And so being able to manage that and support those individuals post-purchase that have questions, that want to know the difference between products. I give our service department a lot of credit in putting in the extra hours to be available and help people that have made a recent purchase.
Do you, one of the things that's really interesting to me is process and standard operating procedures. It's a journey that we've gone through our business. Tell us a little bit about what, if you learned anything about the process within your marketing efforts during the pandemic as your business expands. Did you find any points where you're like, oh, we could be doing this better, or holy cow, whatever stressors we've had, we've really held on tight? What were the learnings? I guess the question really fundamentally is, what are the learnings that came out of the last almost a year of our lives with regard to the business? And how does that impact how you move into 2021?
There were a lot of learns this year. I think probably I'll slightly echo it from earlier, but being flexible was the biggest takeaway that I had as a leader here at Bio Bidet. Just knowing that there were going to be challenges, but having the team look to me to set the example on how we respond to these things, whether they were operational, supply chain, new consumer, it just, we had to be open to staying, nimble and flexible as to whatever would come our way. I'd say specifically, utilizing technology. Our customer service team has been working at home since March. and there's no defined date right now for them to return. So utilizing technology that took even our training, which used to be mentor-based, side-by-side, very hands-on training in terms of these products, being able to take that into a digital platform and still have meaningful content available for new agents has been a great challenge, but something we came through and looking back saying, wow, I'm really happy with how we were able to utilize some of these technologies, some of these services to make sure new people, we've had a lot of new team members join this year, be comfortable in their roles and be successful in their new role here at the company.
Do you and your team like working from home?
Yeah, so majority of the team is working from home. I and a very core group of people here still come into the office. And so I actually, in a lot of ways, prefer that. I think it helps me focus in some different ways. But we have some team members who I see just thriving and excelling in their work from home environment. And as a leader here, I continue to support that for those individuals.
As we wrap up, James, what are the tests that you're looking at into 2021? What are some of the things that you want to learn or just do more of as from a marketing perspective into 2021?
Yeah, for 2021, I think really focusing in and letting people know that bidet awareness is at its all-time high here, but it's still relatively low. So you'll see us making some strides there in terms of bidet awareness. We'll utilize that in some new ways that we haven't traditionally done as a B2B business. So you may see more presence from us on Google and YouTube and those types of strategies. Video advertising is of extremely high interest to us this year. And so we want to reach people that have expressed some interest maybe in the product on Amazon and other places, but haven't necessarily made a bidet purchase yet.
Okay, I'm curious, when you talk about YouTube, what are you talking about? I understand video advertising, 15, 30 seconds, or certainly long form with TrueView ads.
Yeah.
Is there also a, are you the type of, do you foresee your brand being more educational, informational, serious, or funny?
I think you'll see some funny things in the new year.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Yeah.
I think there's so much fun you can have with this. It's crazy.
Yeah. And so we think the best way to express that is definitely going to be through video.
Yeah, absolutely. Is organic content on YouTube a part of that strategy or not yet or not ever?
Yeah, so we do have some Tell Me About series on YouTube. I would say, in my opinion, it's a little bit dated, so we can definitely do a better job at that. Consumer education is really high on the list. And so in terms of video, I hope too we'll be able to implement some support via video in the near future as well. So maybe not so much on YouTube, but how our customer service team interacts with customers. We may be utilizing some video in the future as well.
And James, if people want to reach out to you or get more information about a bidet, how can they reach out to you?
Yeah, reach out to me. You can contact me, James at biobidet.com. But also, my LinkedIn is there, and or give me a call. I'm still here in the office. You can reach me that way.
Very cool. James Amburgey, thank you so much for being with us, Chief Marketing Officer at Bio Bidet. Appreciate your time today.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you so much.